feel like a few of the other girls in the main villa are a bit upset with me because I'm not interested in them. So they're kind of they're not really understanding my open. The definition of open is like, on the outside world, if I go on a date with a girl and I'm not feeling it, I don't need to continue trying to...
I never would have thought that I would feel about a person the way I do about Dejon at the moment. I'm really trying not to make my opinion bias my impression of him. The audacity to think that all the girls want him is appalling. The girls wanted him because he was the only one there, not because he is God's gift to womankind. So the audacity to tell the Casa girls that, oh, you know, the girls in the villa want me and they're upset that I don't want them. Who told you that? On the street, Billykiss wouldn't even give you a second look. Yasmin wouldn't give you a second look. Tony wouldn't give you a second look. So the audacity to think that is appalling. And I totally agree with Shakira when she says that she would be more sort of happier if Helena appeared upset that Harry's partner is in, or ex is in Casa. The fact that she's not showing any emotion shows for the fact that, you know, she doesn't care. She just did this because it was a game. And for her friends in the clique to try and tell her that, you know, oh, you need to hold him to account, you need to do... No, this is a game for her. This is a game. She's not serious about this guy and she knows he's not serious about her. So I don't know why you all are making a big deal out of this. And the secondhand embarrassment that I had for Dejon because his bubble was burst by the Casa girls, and I'm here for it. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by, your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island UK, Season 12, Episode 28. Personally, I find the lack of sensitivity of the islanders atrocious. The clique is even worse. The audacity to say to Harry and, you know, Helena, how does it feel to be in the same bed, to be back together again? What do you think, Sherlock Holmes? What do you think? The audacity to say that when you can see that Shakira is still shaken and she's had to lie the night in the bed next to them, given how Harry treated her. How can you not be sensitive enough to sort of keep quiet and just maybe allow this girl to grieve the end of the relationship, allow her to move on, and then you can start asking each other the nonsense that you want to ask each other? I didn't like that question. For Helena to be all over Harry and to be kissing him, you could tell he didn't want to do that. Irregardless of his stupid, Harry is very sensitive when it comes to Shakira. Yes, he has moved mad, but he's always trying to do things that don't cause her any further pain. And so this is why when she was leaning all over him and trying to kiss and stuff, he didn't do anything, in my opinion. Anyway, Tommy receives a message. Islanders, it's time to go to the garden for couples brunch. Hashtag brunch with babe. Hashtag crack on with croissants. And so you have the guys get ready, the girls get ready. And Ben is complaining that, oh, you know, she's being stroppy. What do you think? What do you think, Sherlock Holmes? Do you think she's a robot? Do you think suddenly, just because she broke up with Harry, she should be jumping ship and be all over you? How do you feel? I would rather someone who actually shows me that they're grieving a relationship, because it reassures me that they are serious. When they say they like me, they are serious. It's not just them doing it for the show. So the audacity to complain to the guys about that, I didn't like that. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Anyway, the islanders go into the garden where they sit at little tables as couples and are having croissants with what? It looked like melons or strawberries or whatever. I didn't quite look at it. Anyway, we then had Tony and Harrison. Tony and Harrison, what do I think? Sadly for Tony, I don't think she should have taken this man back. But at the same time, if she hadn't taken him back, then she would have had no one to couple up with. So she was in a no-win situation whereby she had no choice but to take him back. Otherwise, she would have been single. And then that would have put her at risk. You know, they're saying they're in a good place. Tony said, you know, she feels like Harrison was brought to the villa for her. Harrison thinks the stars have aligned. And we all know that that is a pile of horse poop. Because at the end of the day, he is going to move mad when this type of girl moves into the villa. You have Tommy and Emily. That's a couple of convenience. And I don't get how people are buying it. At the end of the day, I feel like Tony and Emily are putting forth their representative. They are trying to package themselves as very nice people. I am still going to insist that Tommy reminds me of Sean. Sean tried to be very sweet and very nice, and then when he's clicked or when he clicked with someone that was just as weird and crazy as him, he showed us who he was. The same goes for Tommy. He hasn't yet met a guy in the villa that sort of allows him to step out of his shell. So this is why he's pretending to be the nicer one out of a crazy bunch. With Emily lost me the moment she became friends with the clique. And the moment she started laughing and high-fiving someone else's heartbreak, that's when she lost me. So anything they say or do, I'm not buying. The fact that they were talking about lovely dinner date, breakfast dates, the fact that they were talking about, oh, we started off as friends and now we're dating. I am not buying that, sadly. We have Dejon and Meg. They are a couple that really grates my last nerve. Because at the end of the day, I don't even know why they're still on the show. They should go home. They found their person. Go home, date your person. And we all don't care. He says, I don't want anybody else. Who asked you? I'm open and honest. What do you mean by open and honest? Can you give us a definition of open and honest? I don't think if open and honest hit you in the face, you'd be able to understand it. There was a new boundary set. Oh, he's not allowed to flirt with anyone. We do not care. Anyway, we have Connor and Jasmine. He's another one that got on my nerves. He's saying he's in his 6th couple and Jasmine is his 7th bedmate, and he likes the fact that she goes for what she wants and she doesn't give a crap. And also she doesn't think about it. And personally, it's the double standard. So Jasmine is allowed to speak her mind and do whatever she wants and act in any way she wants. But when it comes to Billykiss has to meet some sort of goal, some sort of standard that is, above everybody else. Make that make sense? I didn't like it. If you are happy to watch, Yasmin lips everybody in the villa, say whatever she wants to say, do whatever she wants to do, why then do you have a problem with Billykiss calling out someone? Why? Anyway, I digress. We have Billykiss and Gio. They are having a conversation. So Gio is asked, what do you think of me? And he said, you're a really lovely girl. You're really nice. You have a lot to talk about, because she had to say to him, you have to expand on what you're saying. You have a lot to talk about. You're well traveled and we are good friends. And she was happy. You could see this is the first time I've seen her happy outside of the time when she came in and she met Alima. And then she said, I like that you're emotionally mature, you are level-headed. And he was so impressed. You could tell he didn't expect her to speak so highly of him. It actually took him aback and he really appreciated it, which was really cute. It was nice to see their conversation. You had Ben and Shakira. Shakira asked him, what do you want? He said he wants a best friend. He wants someone who can go out with his mom and enjoy herself. He wants someone he can take home. And I think he was trying to impress Shakira, but Shakira is not impressed. She's not buying it. And then we go to Helena and Harry. Harry's saying, I thought we were over the time you said we could never be friends. Well, because she didn't want to be your friend. She wanted to be your bedmate. That was it. She wanted to be a bedmate, or especially when she saw you give Shakira everything she's always wanted. This is why she went all guns blazing for you. And she is saying, I always knew we'd end up together, and they're happy that it's time for them to rekindle. He was in love with his ex, and he's got his ex's name tattooed on him. They date. He only cheated once, but after cheating once, they dated for 3 years. And it's like, why is she suddenly coming on? We know that the producers are about to be messy, and I can't wait for this, because the same way Helena has broken Shakira's heart, I hope someone does that to her. So the islanders receive a message to gather around the fire pit. Everyone is nervous because there's just been a recoupling. So it's a bit like, so why are we gathering around the fire pit? We had a recoupling yesterday. Anyway, so they gather around the fire pit, and then Meg receives, they receive a text message to say that they are new girls. The names of the girls are called out, and then the girls walk in. We get to meet the Casa girls, actually. So the first one we meet is Lauren. She's 21. She says, she's the blonde bombshell. She's from Liverpool. There's Rio, who's 26. She's from Birmingham. She says, your man's dream girl, and she wants a guy that's athletic, good morals, and family orientated. Lauren is 26. She's from York. She's a massive flirt. We've got Emma, who's 30. She's from Norwich. She is a bombshell of all bombshells. She wants a guy who's tall, athletic, and doesn't need validation from other guys. And then she's Harry's ex. And then there's Yaz, who's 26. She's a DJ. She's from Manchester, and she's got 3 guys that she's sort of looking at. And then we've got Andrada, who's 27. She's Irish. She's a personal trainer. And it's like, well, it's about to be messy. As soon as the girls find out, they're sort of shaken to the core because they weren't expecting it. I think they all assume that we're now in our couples and no one is going to break us. And so when the bombshells come in, it really takes them back. Harry is shook to the core because Emma is his ex and he didn't expect her. And as soon as he saw her, the way he was quivering and he was so excited and giddy like a little boy, Helena knew that she was in trouble. She knew she was in trouble, but she gets what she deserved because of what she did. Anyway, the girls are left in the villa while the boys and the Casa girls go over to Casa. And they gather around the fire pit and the girls get to introduce themselves, and they get to sort of say the qualities that they want in a guy. Then the boys decide to go around and let the girls know about their situations. That left a bad taste in my mouth. Dejon is too pompous. I really loved Dejon. If you've been here for a while, you know that I really championed for him and Meg because I thought they would make an ideal couple. But sadly, the longer they've stayed on our screen, instead of falling in love with them, you've actually got to see their nasty sides, and it's really not a good look. Anyway, Ben said he's in a friendship couple with Shakira. Even Stevie Wonder can see that he's in a friendship couple. Harrison says, he's in a couple with Tony. He's been in a couple with Tony since he came in, and he would mark it as 7 out of 10. Harry says he's open. Everyone would be lying if they said they weren't open. And you could see as he was talking, Emma was disgusted. The look on her face of disgust. And the guys were trying to egg him on. And it's like, he really needs someone to tell him home truth so that he understands how he's coming across. Dejon said he's open. The girls in the villa don't like him saying he's open just because they are interested in him and he's not interested. And it's like, who told you that you're God's gift to womankind? Really, who told you? You're not that of a prize. You've shown us that you're not a prize. So please sit down. For him to sort of try and define his definition of open. If I go out with you one day and if I don't like the chat, then we're over. I wish you could just keep quiet. He really hasn't done himself any great service. If his goal was to win the show, the more he opens his mouth, the more he puts people off. And I personally am over him. I normally support my people, but in this case, I can't. I really can't. Especially given the fact that he's left the villa without apologizing to, Billykiss, irregardless of whether he felt she didn't allow him to talk or not. I wish he had apologized. And then Tommy says he's in a couple with, Emily. He's been in a couple with her for a week, but there are a couple of girls that have tickled his fancy. And it's like, okay, let's see what happens then. Let's see if he's going to move mad or whether he's going to continue to try and sort of play this persona of Tommy, the nice guy. So you have the Islanders go for a chat. First is Harry. He sits down with Emma. Emma, I think, was giving him a heads up because he tried to flirt with her and tried to say, oh, you're hussy. I think trying into a persona. And she said to him, no, you need to stop. Don't talk to me like that. And immediately you could see him calm down, which tells you that Emma brings on Shakira vibes in the sense that his craziness sort of settles. She did call him out for his bad behavior. And when she said to him, you and Helena deserve each other, he thought it was a compliment. And then she said, you're two snakes. And then he realized, oh, actually, she's being snarky. She's not actually complimenting me and Helena, because I think everybody has been hyping him up with Helena, so he assumed they were a good couple. So having someone call him out and tell him that actually you're not as good as you think you are was something he wasn't expecting, and so he was taken aback. Tommy, Lucy, Harrison, and Rio, that was a good chat. I don't know. With Harrison is giving thirsty vibes. He really is giving thirsty vibes. You can tell he's been let out of the cage and is really on the prowl. So I don't know. I have a feeling he's going to bring somebody back from Casa. Ben and Gio then sat down with Andrada, and she seemed to be more flirting with Ben than she was with Gio. And in the end, Gio stood up because they were talking about sexual attraction. Ben said his type is brunette and bubbly, and it's like, so how did you end up with Alima? He was attracted. He was happy because she didn't challenge him intellectually. So for Ben, this was more his speed, and he seemed very happy with her. Harrison had a chat with Lucy. He said, you'd score his coupling with her sort of a 9 out of 10. He wanted a kiss. He was trying for a kiss, and she eventually kissed him on the cheek. And it's like, Harrison is giving thirsty. It's giving thirsty. Yes, she might be your type, but you're moving too thirsty and too desperate. I don't get it. Anyway, the boys were then called and they sat down for a chat. And Harrison was saying his top two is Lauren and Lucy. Tommy said his top three are Lauren, Lucy, and Emma. And Gio said Lauren. So it seems Lauren is popular of the guys. And then Dejon asked Harry that how would you feel if any of the boys sort of went after Emma, and he said he's open to that. He actually complained that she's trying to call me out, and I told her that your opinion doesn't matter. And it's like Harry's putting on a persona. Emma coming in has shown us that this is not the true Harry. What we're seeing is the representation of the person he wants to show to the world. This might not be the true and honest him. Back at the villa, you have the girls having a conversation and sort of saying they're happy that, Casa has come just about now because they're all excited. They can't wait. With Yasmin, she's saying, with Connor, it was the pre-game. Now she's ready for the big league. With Billykiss, I'm happy for her because she deserves this. After everything she's been put through, she deserves to have a good time. Helena is saying, she really wasn't worried, but the fact that his ex is here and they've got a history, this is what she's worried about. For Emily to say, I trust Tommy not to bring someone, I hope he does. I hope he does. Given how she's moved in the villa, I hope he does. With the way the girls were sitting, you could tell production engineered that sort of sitting pattern because some of them are not in the best of places. Shakira and Helena were sitting on opposite ends of the couch, and it's like, I don't get it. Even for them to have, Billykiss right at the end, away from Megan. It's like there's so much tension in this villa, and I don't know how much production think we can continue to buy this happy family that they're trying to sell us. So you have the boys in Casa getting ready for the night. Dejon is saying he had a dream that Meg was telling him that he needs to kiss as many girls as he wants. And it's like he still thinks that all the girls are going to come after him. Sadly for him, the only person that looks like him that's coming doesn't seem interested. Yas doesn't seem interested in him. So this is going to burst his bubble. And the idea that he thinks that all the girls, given the impression that he made when he told them that, the girls in the villa are upset because they want me and I don't want them. And suddenly he thinks these girls are going to throw themselves at him only for him to turn around and say that. Besides, he told them he's a 9 out of 10 with Meg. So I can't wait for his bubble to be burst. The girls in the villa get ready. They put on their pajamas and they're just hanging around in the garden. I feel like producers know that there is a division and the viewers have seen this division and that the clique is getting backlash because of the way they've carried themselves. And this is why they try to get them to sort of sit down in a group and sort of debrief. It's not working. It's not working because in the evening you have them pick up their drinks. They go and sit down in their cliques. And so you have the clique sort of trying to encourage Helena and sort of pacify her, even though she doesn't seem fazed by the fact that Harry is in Casa with his ex. And they're sort of saying to her, you need to hold him to account, you need to set boundaries, you need to let him know what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And it's like, that's a waste of your time. This woman is not interested in this man. She likes the chase, she likes the game that they're playing, but long term, I don't think she's interested in him. Shakira is speaking to Tony and she says she feels some type of way because at least had Helena been crying or been upset or showed any emotion that she feels some type of way about Harry's ex being there, then she would be okay. It seems like this was a game and all she wanted was to win, and that's the impression that I get. The girls didn't like the fact that Shakira was popular from day one with the guys, and so the idea that she won Harry didn't sit very well with them, and this is why Helena went out of her way to win Harry. Do I think she cares about him? No, I think she cares that he keeps her in the show and he keeps her relevant. That's all she cares about, but I don't think she cares about him as a person. I did see a bit of After Sun and her friend was saying, she's a caring person, she's this. That's not the way she's come across. I wish her friend had addressed more the concerns that the viewers have. Things like the fact that she kept chasing after this man and insisting they go to the hideaway. She kept nicking somebody else's or taking somebody's swimsuits that she was trying to steal her man. So I didn't buy that. At the fire pit, there's, Yaz is sitting down for a chat. She's chatting to Billykiss. Billykiss, it's nice to see her just relaxed and just at ease because this has been a very sort of tumultuous journey for her to get to here because of the drama she's had with Dejon and Meg. And it's really appalling that Dejon has actually sat there and watched his partner berate the black girls and not even stood up for them or not even called her out and is actually participated in their downfall. So I really wish Alima was there, but I'm happy that she has Yaz, and so they are sort of creating a little group there, sort of dissecting the other couples. They're talking about Helena. Everyone is stunned that Helena seems cool and collected, and she doesn't seem fazed by the idea that Harry's with his ex, which should be enough reason to let them know that she doesn't care about him. All she wanted was to get a secure place in the villa, so she was going to do everything within her power to win, and she won the man, and hopefully they ride into the sunset. Anyway, at Casa, they pick up their drinks and then they go sit around the fire pit. And what is Love Island going to do? It's going to give them a game of truth or dare. So the first one was Yaz. Yaz was dead. Give a kiss to the guy you fancy the most. She kissed Harrison. Everyone was excited about that kiss. I didn't get it. Gio was asked to kiss the 3 islanders you fancy the most. He kissed Emily, Lucy, and Yaz. Good for Yaz. Harrison was kissed the one you find most attractive. He kissed Lauren. Not surprised. And then Emma, have you come in here? Was asked, have you come in here to rekindle with Harry? She was asked by Dejon. She said no. Definitely no. And then Rio kissed 2 islanders you find most attractive. She kissed Connor and Harrison. Harrison was very popular with the girls. And then Harrison's question was, it was asked by Connor, that was a bit messy. Are you initially attracted to any of the girls as you were to Tony? And he said no, he's more attracted to the girls. We've seen him begging for a kiss, so I'm not surprised. And then Lucy's was lick the torso of any boy you find most attractive. She licked Tommy. Tommy was excited. He was giddy. He had to rearrange himself. Ben, a 3-way kiss with islanders you find most attractive. He kissed Emma and Andrada. Surprised? No, we know he really likes Andrada. And then Lauren kissed 2 islanders you find most attractive. She kissed Harrison and then she kissed Connor. And Connor kissed the 2 islanders you fancy the most. He kissed Lauren, who was right next to him, and Emma. Then Dejon, this was his moment to shine because all the girls had walked past him and completely ignored him and no one had picked him, and kudos to them for not picking him because of the way he treated Billykiss and Militia. So he deserved to feel how the other girls felt when he treated them badly. He was asked, kiss the islander you find most attractive. He went and he kissed Andrada. In the end, people had to tell him to stop. They had to tell him to stop because I think he was trying to convince her that she needs to come after him, and I don't think it's going to work because she's already got a great connection with Ben, so I hope she doesn't blink an eyelid for him. Tommy, do you think any of the girls could turn your head from Emily? And he said yeah. Tommy and Emily are a couple of convenience, so I don't think he would stay with them. I have a feeling if he had his way, he's better off with Lauren than he is with Emily. Emily, sadly, aligning herself with the clique has not done her any favors, so I would be surprised if he still wanted to stay with her. And then Harry was asked, who are you more attracted to, Helena or Emma? This is Harry on point. He is not going to take any opportunity he gets to embarrass Helena, and guess what? He picked Emma. Not because she was there, I think, but still because he finds her still more attractive than Helena. And Helena is sitting there thinking that, she's in she won. Well, I'm happy she didn't win because now she's going to get a taste of her own medicine, and I can't wait for that. Hopefully when she sees movie night, she's really going to get a rude awakening. I have a feeling even if they don't explore anything, if no one else wants to bring Emma back, Harry's going to bring her, because that's his friend and he's going to want to give her the opportunity. If they were not in the best of places, I don't think Emma would have come in, but I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 26. Bye guys.